Hello race fans and welcome to the Silverstone circuit here in Great Britain for the qualifying for the 2022 British Grand Prix. This is a historic circuit full of history, and let's see if we can add a chapter to it this weekend. Here's your practice report for the British Grand Prix. Keita Watanabe finished P5th, and it looked like some surprise people in the top 10. However, it did rain towards the end of the session, so a lot of drivers set their it rained during most of the session, so drivers had to set their times at intermediates. However, Watanabe and Tsunoda down the order in practice 2, and in practice 3, Tsunoda pips his teammate. So it looks like Watanabe is struggling with the downforce in his car around this circuit, which would explain with the unstable rear end that car has been exhibiting all year. Here's the setup they're displaying. And they brought in some weight redistribution upgrades to the fuel tank. However, they're still the 6th fastest car on the grid, so a lot of work that still needs to be done at Toyota. However, with rain forecast towards the end of the race, hopefully I can spice some things up for the weekend. Here goes Watanabe down into the Vale and into Club. Now going around the corner, down to Hamilton Straight, across the line, and it's P3. Once again, through the final 2 corners for Keita Watanabe. It's a very good time. It's almost a second up on his previous time. Purple middle first sector and third sector. And he goes P2, 3/10 behind provisional pole sitter Valtteri Bottas. So Watanabe has suddenly found some pace in the car, but Tsunoda just on the edge of being eliminated. So this Japanese driver having some trouble. Here goes Keita Watanabe, start of his flying lap. And let's just go through and see what he can do. Into the first corner, and Abbey. And he spins! Oh, he just misses the Pirelli board there. And those are definitely some overheated tires for Keita Watanabe, having lost all grip through that corner. It is very hot here in Silverstone today, so probably some overheating tires and some loss of grip as he heads down into Village. And yep, those tires are definitely gone. And Watanabe is just going to have to be able to run one final lap and probably have to swap on some new boots if he's going to try and maybe salvage something from this qualifying session. And here he goes on his lap time. He hasn't set one yet, so let's see what he can do. Can he make it out of the bottom 6? Let's see as he crosses the line, and it's P3 overall, so a good time for Keita Watanabe. However, some medium tire runners were Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and surprise, Lando Norris looking supremely pacey, but the Red Bulls are on the back foot with Sergio Perez out. And here goes Keita Watanabe heading down into Club. Now across the line, and it's P5. It's very overcast now over Silverstone. Purple first sector for Keita Watanabe, but he's down in the middle sector, but he gets across. He's up by a 10th. What can he do? Crosses the line, and it's P6. So a good result from the Toyota driver. Lando Norris, though, 5 1,000ths behind Max Verstappen on pole position. So Lando Norris could be on a route to win this race. Welcome, race fans, to a beautiful sunny skies around this historic circuit here in the British countryside. Silverstone, a track that has been on the Formula 1 calendar since its modern inception in 1950. And now let's see what more history we can add to the historic venue. The British Grand Prix is built around an old World War II air base where we have some historic high-speed corners, Maggots and Beckett's in the second sector. We have many new straights, including the Wellington Straight, the Hangar Straight, and of course the newly named Hamilton Straight, after 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, who's hoping to add to his tally of British Grand Prix wins. And let's see what he can do this weekend. But he will be starting on the second row with Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, a new Brit on the front row. So can Lando Norris get some success around his home track? And Keita Watanabe down the order in P6. What can he do now after the costly mistake in Austria? Let's see. And here's your starting grid for the 2022 British Grand Prix. And let's see where we go. Max Verstappen on the pole position with Lando Norris, a very competitive time and he's been competitive all weekend. Let's see what the McLaren driver can do. Lewis Hamilton 3rd, Valtteri Bottas 4th, Carlos Sainz 5th, and Keita Watanabe in P6. Daniel Ricciardo 6th, 7th, Gasly 8th, Leclerc 9th, and Sebastian Vettel finishes the top 10. Lance Stroll 11th, Sergio Perez, a disappointing qualifying session in 12th, Alonso 13th, and Antonio Giovinazzi 14th. Esteban Ocon 15th, Salto 16th, Raikkonen 17th, and Mick Schumacher finished in 18th, Nicholas Latifi 19th, George Russell 20th, Mazepin 21st, and Tsunoda of another engine penalty starts at the back of the grid. So let's see what each of these drivers can do around Silverstone today, this Sunday. Here we go, the 5 red lights. The drivers are raring to go. Can Lando Norris get a good start off the line? We'll wait and see. It's lights out, and away they go. Lando Norris gets a decent start, but he has to defend off the fast-starting Valtteri Bottas. He looks to make a move on him. All the front top 4 and the medium tires, and goes Kato Watanabe down into Abbey, and that is a beautiful move. Splitting Hamilton and Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, and now he's trying to close in on Lewis Hamilton. As he goes, oh, he loses the back end. The Toyotas had trouble with overheating tires, and it is a very hot day here in Silverstone. As he loses the back end slightly, Valtteri Bottas looking to pounce. Down to Wellington Straight they go, heading down into Brooklands. But Watanabe just manages to close the door and retains P4 after an electric start, and that was some very aggressive moves from the Toyota driver. Let's look at the race start here. And yes, you can see Watanabe gets a very good start compared to Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz gets a decent start too, but Pierre Gasly pressures him. But look at that, parting the Red Sea between the Mercedes and the Ferrari right there. And that is definitely going to play into his hands. And Carlos Sainz, was there contact between the two of them? I don't believe so. I think that was just Carlos Sainz being a little cautious. He saw the Toyota coming up hot in his mirrors, and he just kind of goes off the track a bit. As you can see, yeah, but they're so close, but there is no contact between the two. That is a clean overtake in my mind. Watanabe saw a gap, and he just went for it. And here goes Watanabe out of Beckett's. And oh, he's a little wide. It heads down the hangar straight, and that's surely going to open him up to Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes. Those medium compound tires working well with the Mercedes, heading down into Stowe. And he just manages to keep it ahead down the inside, but Bottas is going to have the inside heading down into Vale. Here he goes. Around the outside goes Kato Watanabe, and there we go. That is a move done. Defense done, but unfortunately, the more Watanabe defends his position, the more those medium tire runners will be extending their gap, and the mechanical grip in those softs will be degrading quickly on this hot surface. There's yellow flags ahead. That helps them against the assault from Valtteri Bottas. And oh no! No, that's Lewis Hamilton, the hometown favorite who recently had the main straight named after him, is out of the British Grand Prix of an engine failure. Let's look at this replay. You can see he's very close to Lando Norris. He's putting a lot of pressure, and oh, the engine just gives up through Abbey. And this early on in the race, that is not what Lewis Hamilton wants, especially in front of the hometown crowd, and they will be severely disappointed, along with the world champion. And here goes Watanabe down into Beckett, out towards the hangar straight now, through Chapel, and he's very slow, and that's going to really help Bottas, who's very close this time, doing around the outside of the Toyota driver, and he gets the move done well before they enter Stowe. Oh, Watanabe's on the curb, and he loses the back end slightly, and that's surely going to open him up to Sainz as Bottas makes his way past up into P3, and Watanabe's surely going to try to fight this back. Lap 10 now, and Watanabe pits on this lap as all the other soft compound tire runners go. It's a very busy pit lane, and it's a very long pit lane here at Silverstone. So a quick stop is imperative around this track. But in these hot temperatures, we should see some wheel guns fail in this hot summer heat. It is very common that either the wheel nut gets very hot or something goes wrong in the pit stop because of the extreme heat. So, and especially around Silverstone, this is very imperative. Into the pits we go, and that is a beautiful stop from the Toyota boys and girls. 1.9 seconds in the pit stop, and that Watanabe finishes ahead of that pack, and that's all. And the shortened pit stop will mean a shortened time in this long pit lane, as you can see. Now heading towards the hill, the join back onto the track, and Watanabe is in P13, and if more soft tire runners still out on the track, he's going to surely inherit some more places, and that is how you want to do a pit stop. Through Max and Beckett you go, and oh, Watanabe goes wide through Beckett's, and that's surely going to open the door to Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren, who's has an incredible overspeed on the Toyota driver, and that is the move done. And Watanabe is going to be very disappointed as the tires just don't seem to be warming up and gripping on the Toyota. And Watanabe closing in now on Daniel Ricciardo, heading down through Woodcut and heading towards Copse Corner, and he's ruined his overspeed. Does he dare to make a move through this fast corner? Down the inside he goes. He's going to be close. Oh, and they graze tire walls, and that is a beautifully aggressive move from the Toyota driver, and that is one for the books. Magus and Beckett's we go, and oh, he goes wide through Beckett's again. He's been struggling with that complex of corners all weekend. Now Daniel Ricciardo's going to get another run on him. After that embarrassment at Copse, and Ricciardo gets the move done, but Watanabe's not giving up. He looks up or move up the inside, and he's going to have to wait a little longer. And now Watanabe closes on Daniel Ricciardo. He goes wide again. He goes over the curb. No, he loses the back end. He has to cut Chapel as he goes across the grass onto the hangar straight. And now, with Daniel Ricciardo's definitely got a gap now. But Perez definitely is going to get the move done with DRS. But Watanabe has some DRS too. Does he dare to make a move up Stone? No, he doesn't. He's all over the backside. He does a switcheroo on the outside of Perez. Down the inside into Vale. And that is a beautiful move. And a beautiful fight for P4, P5, best of the rest. Between these two, and Daniel Ricciardo is slowly edging his gap as he closes in on the top 3. With Valtteri Bottas on the soft stove, it's going to be very hard for these medium tire riders to go. Oh, he loses the back end again through Abbey, does Kato Watanabe. Losing some mechanical grip as Perez makes the move easily, but Watanabe is very close, heading down into the loop towards Village, and now heading down the Wellington Straight we go. DRS and ERS deployed on that Toyota, closing in on the Red Bull. Perez doing very well, recovering from a poor qualifying in P12, but Watanabe is surely going to fight this position. P5. Here goes Lando Norris. Oh, he's going to the side. It's Valtteri Bottas. Oh, there's smoke. Oh, no. After a brilliant weekend from Lando Norris, showing tons of potential for the win, and another British driver gets out on the British Grand Prix. Let's see in a replay here. As you can see, just stripped through Magnussen Beck as the engine just gives up. Very similar to Lewis Hamilton's failure. And that is very much going to be a terrible time for Lando Norris, who looked to be Britain's last hopes for a podium around this circuit, and now they're coming up short.
I'm out, boys. Yes, mate.
That is heartbreaking. The skies getting overcast. Remember, the rain was forecast to come towards the end of this Grand Prix as Perez with DRS gets by on Kato Watanabe, and Watanabe is going to have to fight back again through Stowe. He has great acceleration through that corner. And here he goes down the inside into Village. And that is a beautiful move. Perez leaving the door wide open for the Toyota driver as he snatches P4. And here goes Valtteri Bottas on the soft compound tires. These top two are in a league of their own, edging the gap from Daniel Ricciardo in P3. He's going to go down the inside into Brooklands. And that is a move, daring move from Valtteri Bottas. And it looks like we could have a fight for the win in the dying laps of this Grand Prix. Oh, there goes Bottas down the outside of Brooklands into left field, turns the inside, and Valtteri Bottas squeezes Verstappen out towards the gravel, but Max Verstappen has got some overspeed on the Mercedes. Max Verstappen has shown some supreme pace around the circuit. Through cops they go, nose to tail, and Max Verstappen is looking for a move. He's very close. If he can snake these corners together, he's surely going to have a good run down the hangar straight. And he does. He just nails that corner down, keeping the distance close to Valtteri Bottas despite the dirty air. And there's a back marker right in front of Bottas, and Max Verstappen, that will play into his hands as they make it by the Haas. And here we go, down the inside of Stowe goes Max Verstappen. He's briefly in the lead, but Valtteri Bottas is fighting back. He's got the inside into Village, but Max Verstappen's going to have the inside heading down towards the club. And that is a beautiful move heading down towards the Hamilton Straight. They're still side by side. This is a thrilling fight for the lead. And what can these two drivers do? We're seeing two amazing drivers fighting. Max Verstappen, seeing that his championship hold is slowly losing grip, and Valtteri Bottas, who has the momentum, is surely going to want to capitalize on those two wins he's had over the last two races. What can he do? Down the inside, heading towards Village. Valtteri Bottas is slightly in the lead. Who's getting the DRS? And it's Max Verstappen. Verstappen gets a DRS, and surely this battle is going to end here. And that is a beautiful fight for the lead in the final laps. They're fighting for almost an entire lap, actually. Kato Watanabe having to fend off from Sergio Perez down the hangar straight on the dying laps of this Grand Prix. And does he get to hold the position? He does. He defends the corner. Perez can't get around. And surely that's P4 for Kato Watanabe. Max Verstappen wins the British Grand Prix after a thrilling fight for the lead with Valtteri Bottas and managing to hold off the faster Mercedes car. But Kato Watanabe crosses the line in P4. Daniel Ricciardo finishes the third spot on the podium, so McLaren and British fans can have some solace after the disappointment from the British drivers' DNF Mechanical's failures in this race. They will have something to celebrate as Yuki Tsunoda wins driver of the day after a engine penalty, and Toyota will be celebrating their P4. But Max Verstappen, this man whose championship has been crumbling over these last few races, finally has a position to gain. But Valtteri Bottas gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he's going to gain that extra point. And Lewis Hamilton, well, after a non-points finish in Austria, he's definitely going to be seeing his 8th World Championship slowly fading from his grasp. Yuki Tsunoda gets out the P14. Not a bad race from the Toyota driver, but he's not really contributing much to the points. He's only been in the points twice this season, so things are going to start to struggle. And Max Verstappen takes the championship lead, 13 points over Valtteri Bottas, but Valtteri Bottas tips his teammate to P2 as Hamilton goes down the order of that mechanical failure. And nothing really changed in the constructors. Toyota is still third, Lewis and Mercedes, 42 points ahead of Red Bull Racing. This is surely going to be a fight that Red Bull will have to really hold on to as we head towards Hungary for the last race before the summer break. And this has been a thrilling season of many storylines. Hopefully more will be written in Hungary. But now for now, that's it for us. Goodbye.